Hey gamers, today we're going vintage. Mystic Skull. Let's check it out. Setup for the game is very simple. What you're going to do is each player is going to take one of the voodoo dolls of their color. They can take the pins of their color as well, or they can just leave them over in the main pool. That's what we do. Each player is going to take 4 spider tokens, 3 snake tokens, 2 zombie tokens, and 1 voodoo token. These allow you to take certain pins from the supply or remove them from your dolls, either or. Now each player's turn is very simple. What you're going to do is you're going to take this little bone and stir it into the pot. And they said call out a spell. After that, you're going to move this little skull head that's attached by a rubber band around the board until it finally connects to something on the board. And whoop, there it is. Boom. So you see it kind of stuck. There's a magnet underneath there. Now, then I read what it says here. And if you look at red, here it says to take 3 pins from the bank. So I could do that. I could take 3 pins of any color I want to place it and place it in someone else's voodoo doll. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get all the pins in the other voodoo dolls without having all the pins on our own voodoo doll. Now, instead of that, I could trade in this for pins. Now, I take this one and I have 2 options. I could either, once I trade this in, I can't get it back. So I could take 8 pins from here of any color and put them on any player, or remove 6 from my own. So if I have a lot of pins on me, I may want to remove some to stay in the game longer. Now again, these are one-time uses only, and once they're done, that's it. You're just going to have to take the top action there on any one. Now if you see it says left, right, or choice, that means you're going to have players, in an order, in kind of a circle, and so you give it to you put it to the player on the right or on the left. In this case, I had to put it on the player on the left. If it says choice, well then I get to choose which voodoo doll I want to put the pins in. And of course, the winner is the last person standing who doesn't have all the pins in his chest. And that's the game. Final thoughts. What do I think about this game that was made in 1964? That's right, 64. I thought this was a game from the 70s, but it's actually 1964. Look at this. Look at this artwork. Look, a log with a chain hanging, a skull hanging from that chain. Woo, I wish the game looked this cool. Actually, I lie. The game does look pretty cool. It's got that old 60s voodoo feel. You got those voodoo plastic dolls putting pins in them, and you're thinking, what, they let kids play this back in the 60s? What were they thinking? The game is really smart. That little bone turns a little metal disc that will move that metal board, shuffle it somewhere around the board. You can't really tell where it's going to be. Sometimes we felt like we weren't moving it at all, but yet it was on the other side of the board. As you saw, it took me a while to figure out where it was on the board. But it is really cool. There's a magnet at the bottom of the skull that will shake around when it hits to the spot it's supposed to be on. And the choices are very clear. Use your tokens. Use all of them. You can save them to help remove pins from you, and that is good. And a lot of the times you can't mitigate the luck because it's just the guy to the left, the guy to the right, and that guy could be you a lot. So that kind of sucks, but at the same time, this is a vintage game. Luck is always going to be a factor in these vintage games, and I love this game. Now, if you don't remember, I did a little stream with Luke from Down from the Attic and Norm from the Board Game Museum, and I put this as one of the games that I wanted to own this year. So big check mark there. I made a trade for it and got a great deal on it. Now, can I recommend you getting this game? Absolutely not. It's kind of expensive. For instance, in fact, one that's complete I've never seen before. Like mine is complete, meaning a lot of times the little crane breaks a lot. This crane was made of this cheap plastic, and so this will be broken a lot. The little chip there at the bottom will break off, or the whole bone will break because kids slammed it down. People slammed the box cover down on it, didn't realize they forgot to pick up the crane. And so you'll see tape or glue fixed a lot of those. And then also there's a little hook on top of the skull that also has been known to break off on several copies. As you see, mine's still there. Now that's going to be a pain in the butt to try to put back together. I'm sure super glue you could, but that also got destroyed a lot back in the day. So those are the 2 things you're going to find when those things are broken and fixed or not fixed. The game is worth $80 at this time of this video. And I don't know what a complete one would be. I'm guessing 120 to 150. I don't know. I traded for this game. I'm glad I got it. I'm glad it's part of my collection. It's an awesome game, but I can't recommend it because it's worth way too much money online. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until next time, voodoo on.